Alrighty, my name is Edmund Lockhart, and I'm going to be talking to you about forest cover and the population of Europe. These are what I did my two maps on, so that's what this test video is going to be all about for you guys. Alright, first thing we're going to talk about is European population from 2005 to 2010. The population of Europe during this time fluctuated heavily. Western Europe lost, Eastern Europe gained, stayed the same, some countries lost. We're going to pick out two countries and talk about them specifically and the reasons why they either gained or lost the way they did. As you know, between 2005 and 2010, Europe was experiencing some economic factors, and that's why a lot of people left the countries that they were in search of work and a better lifestyle. Right, here's my first map. It's the population of Europe increase and decrease from 2005 to 2010. The countries in white, that means I didn't do information on it, so you can ignore those. So, as you can see, Eastern Europe actually had most countries declined, averaging -3 to -7%. One country we're going to point out specifically is Lithuania. Lithuania had the highest decrease out of every country in Europe. Then as you can see, Norway, Iceland, Ireland, and Spain actually had pretty good increases, about 6%. We're going to talk about Ireland specifically because it was pretty high, their increase. Western Europe stayed relatively the same. England grew between 3 to 5%. France between 1.9 to 2.9%. Germany is the only major Western European nation that declined. It was around 1.3%, something like that. And I guess also Portugal. Countries that lost and countries that gained. Ireland. Ireland had a population growth of 10.64% during the time frame of 2005 and 2010. The population between 2005 and 2010 actually grew about 500,000. So about 100,000 per year is a really steady incline, and it's also projected to keep inclining like that. We're going to point out specifically why it did. And then Lithuania. Lithuania lost more of its population than any other European nation during this time frame. It was at -6.35%. Population of Lithuania in 2005 was 3,552,200, and in 2010 the census had it at 3,141,976. And we're going to talk about specifically why that's dropped so much. The factors influencing Ireland's growth. Ireland is one of the last first world nations that sees a steady population growth year to year. Most other nations, they fluctuate on whether they grow or decline, but it's never by that much. The growth can be linked to the labor market in Ireland that is soaring. Many people are coming from across Europe to Ireland for the workforce there, and also the lifestyle. Ireland has a pretty decent lifestyle. Ireland's population growth is also influenced by a large number of citizens who are 40 years and younger. It means there's a lot of children being born. It's just a young country to be in, speaking for relatively how old it is, and its ratio for dependence in that is lower than most European nations, so you don't have families taking care of the elderly as much as you see in other European nations. Factors influencing Lithuania's population decline. The population decline between 2005 and 2010 was the worst ever in the history of the nation. Most younger citizens of Lithuania were leaving the country, causing such a drastic population loss. The lack of the younger population, mostly ages between 18 to 22, caused a shortage in the workforce and in the universities. Majority of Lithuania's youth were leaving the kingdom to attend college in other nations, most notably United Kingdom. More youth from Lithuania go to United Kingdom to study than any other country. This has been leaving a huge problem with the workforce, economy. Everything in Lithuania is suffering from this, and they don't see it stopping anytime soon. I know between 2010 and 2015, it grew from -6%, and it's almost at -8% and above. And they don't know what to do to stop it. The government's trying to find ways to keep the young people there, to boost the universities there, and nothing is working. So it'll be interesting to see how much Lithuania changes in that time. Next, we're going to talk about forest growth and decline in Europe. Forests across Europe are total at over 155 million hectares. In total, 42% of all land cover in Europe is covered by forest. 1 hectare is equal to 107,639 square feet. The European Union has tried to introduce sustainable forestry methods in Europe to help preserve forest cover and help grow it. Most countries in Europe that participate in forestry do also replant trees that are cut down to maintain the industry and the forest area. The European Union has also recognized forests as a way to cut down on global warming, since trees naturally filter carbon in the air. I view this as odd, seeing as majority of vehicles in Europe rely on palm oil. To plant palm oil, you need to cut down forests, and that they're cutting down massive expanses of rainforest in the Pacific for palm oil. So it's kind of, I think, contradictory that they focus on themselves while causing other nations in another area to suffer. So they're saving, I don't understand it. Now, in 2015, the European Union passed a resolution calling for sustainable methods on all forests within the Union. Alright, the first map is just total land area. As you know, Russia has the highest. Like typical land area, smaller countries have smallest, so forth, so forth. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this map itself. The nation with the highest land area, Russia. With the lowest is the Netherlands, which I honestly thought Denmark would have the lowest, but it's the Netherlands. And this map is showing the total forest land area covered by forests. I was surprised that actually Finland had the highest amount. I was thinking it was going to be maybe somewhere in Western Europe, but Finland had the highest amount. One thing about talking about forest cover with a nation is you got to remember smaller countries, like it's not proportionate, so you got to always remember that. I'm going to point out two countries specifically to talk about that I thought should be pointed out. But first, highest forest area is Finland and lowest is Iceland. And then these two countries that I'm going to talk about, Germany and Spain. Germany since 2000 has not gained or lost any forests. This is due to sustainable forestry methods that are in place. Germany's been a leader in sustainable forestry for a long time now. It has a ratio of 1-to-1, where so every tree planted, another one must be, every tree cut down, another one must be planted, and that's keeping it even all across the board. Then also Spain. Between 2000 and 2010, Spain has had the most forests replanted with close to 119 hectares. Like I said, 1 hectare is equal to 107,639 square feet. They realized this due to massive deforestation that had taken place years prior, so Spain wants to counteract that and promote a healthier environment, so they started replanting. Spain also lost a lot of forest cover due to forest fires from industry. Most cork products that you use around the world come from Spain. So when you're using a cork board or something, the chances are that wood on the cork board is from Spain. This is also the end of my PowerPoint. I know it's a little rough right now, but it's going to get better as time comes.